Discover how to become a super attractor of raving referrals for your business in today's episode with Brandon Barnum. And Brandon is a referral master. He owns a tech company. He's a best-selling author, and he has a network of millions of people. And he has closed over $500 million in transactions by referral and has founded multiple local and online referral platforms and networks connecting more than 5 million members in 195 countries. So, Brandon, please tell us, what's the secret to creating raving referrals for your business?
Welcome to Awakened Titans podcast with Lily Patrascu. Mind-blowing conversations with influential business titans sharing how you can manifest abundance, love, joy, success through quantum awakening, quantum manifestation, quantum healing, quantum miracles, exponential business growth, and innovative products and services.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Lily, thank you for having me. Referrals all come down to relationships. People need to trust you enough to recommend you, and you want to be the solution to other people's problems. So one of the things that we recommend is that you partner with other business owners and business professionals who are already serving your perfect prospects every day and help them solve the challenges that their clients bring to them. But the fortune's in the follow-up. So as you're building relational equity, it's super important that you follow up, do everything that you say you're going to do. And then another key is to ask for referrals, because a lot of people don't ask, and so they don't get.
Thank you. I believe that becoming a super attractor for raving referrals, like a key element of that is to become useful for other people. Do you find that's a key element in your system of raving referrals? Or do you have a different key element in building sustainable relationships that lead to millions of pounds?
You want to add value to every single person that you can. The more value that you add, the more people will rave about you. And if you can really wow them with your service and solution, then they have an emotional experience with your business or with you and your personal brand. So the more impact that you can create, the more that you can change people's lives, the more they're going to rave about you to everyone they know.
Thank you. Let's take an example of the property business. How can someone become a super attractor of raving referrals for a property business?
So when you say property business, just want to clarify that. Are you talking about a real estate agent, property manager, real estate investor?
Let's take it one by one. Let's take property manager first.
Yeah, property manager is great. When you think about property managers, who do they serve? They serve real estate investors, right? And they've got a number of vendors out there. And so if I were a property manager, one of the things that I would do is I'd put into place a referral rewards program for all of my vendors, for my realtors, my contractors, everybody that I'm paying. I would incentivize them to find clients for me and reward them with a bonus or a bounty or a reward for every single person that they brought to my business. That's one of the things that I would do. And what we teach, and really my tech platform, HOA.com, we help people co-market each other, right? So that a client for one becomes a client for everyone. And I learned that in the mortgage business. When I got started, it was in the mortgage business for 12 years. I did a $500 million in transactions. And what I found was that if I partnered with all the people that were out there serving homeowners every day, they were naturally running into situations and conversations where people were talking about refinancing or buying a home or buying an investment property or buying a vacation rental. And so as you become the solution for other people's challenges, they're going to tell the world about you.
Thank you. One other key element of becoming a super attractor of raving referrals is keeping your word. And you did mention it earlier. And what I found is, for example, it's not just keeping your word in terms of actually delivering the service to the customer that, let's say, someone introduced you, but actually paying the commission as well. And I have found that in certain cases, the commission was either minimal, so much so that you're not so incentivized in actually referring them people. And secondly, they didn't pay the commission at all, or they would just pretend that they don't know about that particular client, or that someone else introduced them, or they magically managed to find themselves into the hands of that particular person. Do you find that kind of behavior in your kind of referral network? Or do you find that actually people are so incentivized by so much business that they're getting that they wouldn't dream of doing that?
A really important question, Lily, and it depends on the people that you're dealing with. I mean, we're talking about attraction now, right? So we
Yes.
want to attract the types of people that we want to work with, and that's integrity always. That's be on time, on schedule, on budget, and it's be your word. Whatever you say you're going to do that. Because if you don't, then what happens is, just like you're talking about, somebody does a deal with you, and if you don't pay them on time and as much, and you try and renegotiate after the fact, that leaves a bad taste in people's mouth, and now they're not going to promote you again and again. One of the things that we teach is the lifetime value of a client, right? And what people don't realize, they think transactionally. Hey, I'm going to sell this product or this service. I'm going to make $100 or $1,000. And what they're missing is the true value of that relationship. And that $1,000 service might be worth $10,000 over the lifetime of that relationship, especially when you factor in referrals. So be your word always. If you say you're going to pay someone, pay them. I just sent somebody $1,000 yesterday and $1,000 2 days ago. And quite frankly, I paid them before I had to. Our affiliate agreement says that we're going to pay on the 15th of every month for sales made in the previous month, right? So they weren't expecting to get paid for another month from now. And I excited them by sending them $1,000. They're like, wow, this is awesome. This is so amazing. And so you have an opportunity, even when you're paying affiliate commissions, to wow your partners. And the more you do that, the more business you're going to get.
Thank you. What other ways are there to wow your referral partners? So much so you are incentivizing them and keeping them motivated for the long term to continuously send you clients.
Well, I think it should be reciprocal. I think you should look for opportunities to promote them to your clients, just like you're asking them to promote you to their clients. So we teach what we call the referral partner blueprint, and you can actually go to hoa.com/blueprint and you can download the free PDF. But there's 21 different co-marketing campaigns that you can utilize to start promoting them. This is one of them. This is one of the things that we teach. If you do a podcast, invite your referral partners on your podcast, spread the word about their business, and you're adding relational equity into the bank account. And so there's so many different ways that you can promote them. You can go live on Facebook. You can do an email broadcast. You can give them a rating or review on Google or their website. There's so many. You can do a video and just say, you know, I was on Lily's show today and she's just such an amazing host. I'm so grateful for her. So look for ways to give more and you'll get more at the same time.
Thank you. What's a good way to create this reciprocal marketing? And what I mean by that is that sometimes what you'll find is that, say, you're promoting someone with your 21 ways of marketing, and then you're not getting as much business back. Is it a case of you kind of like just relaxing and knowing that even though, let's say, you marketed Michael and with your 21 ways of getting clients, and they did manage, Michael did manage to get, let's say, a certain number of clients, and they didn't do that in return because perhaps Michael doesn't have the knowledge or expertise around your 21 ways of marketing. Yep. Right. And most people actually are not that organized as well.
Right.
So like most people don't keep a track of, okay, who came from where and this kind of thing. How do you develop this kind of reciprocal relationship so much so that you get, like, I'm not sure if an equitable number of deals from your partners?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great question. So in the referral partner blueprint, what we teach is that you print out the 21 different co-marketing campaigns. It's a one sheet. And that way you can sit down, if you're face to face, you can actually sit there, have a meeting, and you don't want to do all 21. You want to do whatever makes sense for each of your respective businesses. There might be 3 to 5 of those that you want to do. In the case of Michael, as you just mentioned, that example, Michael may be willing to come on and do a podcast. He may be willing to do an email broadcast out to his database, for example. So you just want to find what is Michael comfortable with? And your second question is about reciprocity and equality of partnerships. And not all partnerships are treated equally. When I was in the mortgage business, I got most of my business from real estate agents. Well, they were working with more buyers than I was. So they would typically give me more than I was able to give back. So the way that I gave back was an extra service, and I looked for opportunities to connect them and refer them as often as possible. But you want to have a giver's mentality and just know that it may not be equal 50-50. But the more that you give, the more you receive. And so if you're always on a lookout to promote your partners, connect them, recommend them, refer them, even if it doesn't lead to business, people appreciate that you're their champion.
Thank you. What I found in my case is maybe because I'm an overgiver, I found that, let's say I promote everyone and I don't think there is like a similar interest in necessarily promoting me as much. And so there was always like this imbalance. But what I found is that I'm not focusing on what someone else is going to do, because my intention is to be useful and to be, to create partnerships and to support other people. And I believe that I can, market myself as well. So, I'm not counting on that. But is there a way to make this more equitable? Let's say for someone like me who is like always giving, always introducing, always like supporting other people.
Well, I think you've got to have that conversation. So what I teach is to actually formalize your referral partnerships. And a lot of people have never really sat down and created an agreement as to what the expectations are. A lot of people, I'm a giver, you're a giver, right? So we have an abundance mentality. We believe that the world works in our favor, and we know that when we give to others that it's going to come back, and sometimes it doesn't come back directly from that person. But what I'd say, Lily, is sit down and have a conversation with your best referral partners. What I teach in the referral partner blueprint is to make a list and identify, number one, who are the people that you're giving referrals to right now. In the course of your business, there's probably some people you're recommending on a regular basis. Okay. So you want to sort of catalog and have a list of all those people. Number two, who's already giving referrals to you? There's probably some people that are recommending you, and you'd like to double, triple, or even 10x the number of referrals that you get. And then number three, you've got all of the different professionals that serve your ideal clients that you've never sat down and formalized a partnership with. So with all three groups, what if you call them up and say, I've realized I have a lot of clients that could use your services, so I'd like to sit down and talk about formalizing a referral partnership with you. They'll all say yes. At least that's been my experience and our students' experience. And then when you sit down with them, you can go through the 21 ways, and then you really design a powerful partnership and help people account or commit to what they're willing to do for you. Once they're committed and they say, okay, Lily, here's what I'm willing to do, typically they're going to follow through on their commitments.
Thank you. What do you do to make sure that, let's say I refer, hundreds of clients to some people, and sometimes I find that actually after having done that, they actually don't pay. Is there any way to kind of like make this a way that they actually track their, the commissions and so on, and you do get paid? Or is this just something that just is happening just to me, and most people don't have this kind of experience because they have perhaps a more a more contractual agreement or something else that is helping them to have a more solid thing where people do track the kind of referrals that come in?
It happens more often than I'd like, honestly, and it depends on the individual that you're talking to. Some people have a referral system in place, like at HOA.com. We have a formal ambassador program. People sign up, they get a referral code, a tracking ID. They're able to generate some of our marketing swipe files, and from that, they can integrate that in their marketing. The system does all the tracking, it reports it, it pays them, and everything is automated where there's full transparency and visibility on everything. Well, that's a sophisticated technology platform that we've custom coded to create that solution for our partners. Most people don't have that. So how do most people do it? Well, it's not very efficient and effective, and that's why you're having some of the issues that you're talking about. If people use a platform like Go High Level as their back-end marketing automation, it's got referral tracking, so use it. A lot of people haven't taken the time to actually research that and integrate it. So there are some good softwares out there that have tracking built into it. But if you don't have a tracking system in place, then you've got to go old school. What does that mean? Well, if you've got a bookkeeper, you've got to have them ask for every single new client, where is the source of that client? Who did it come from? And is there a referral commission that's due to be paid? But a lot of that issue and that breakdown comes because the people that you're working with don't have a system in place.
Thank you. So is it still basically like your job to chase the transactions that may be due to you because the people you're working with may not have a system? And I would say 99% of people don't have a system for affiliate commissions and referrals.
Yeah, that's probably true. Again, I think it comes down to the agreement that you put in place up front. What I recommend, depending on how active your partnership is, that you meet at least once a month or maybe once a quarter. The other thing that we do is like last Thursday, we just did a Zoom session with all of our partners and we gave the update. Here's what's going on. And that way they could ask questions because we're building a program where we want people championing our brand and taking it out there everywhere. So, we've invested the time, energy, and money to build the technology, but also the community. If you don't have that, or you're working with maybe unsophisticated partners that don't have those systems in place, number one, make sure that there's an agreement and an expectation, and then create an agreement around how often you're going to report back to each other. Now, best practice, what I teach and what I do is if somebody gives me a client, I immediately text them. Like if it's personal referral, I'll immediately text them and let them know that I've just gotten a call and thank you so much. You want to thank people that give you referrals. That's one of the top 10 best practices. The other is to update them, right? Because I learned this long ago. I had a breakdown where I wasn't thinking about keeping the people that had referred me business up to date throughout the course of the transaction. I just did it at the end. And what I realized is the more that I gave them information about what's going on, they felt like they were really in it with me. And that built trust faster and led to more referrals. So the more that you can put in place to formalize the process, the better you'll be.
Thank you. What else can entrepreneurs put in place to become a super attractor of referrals?
Well, definitely the referral partner blueprint is key for entrepreneurs. The other thing that I recommend people do is they go take the referral score quiz at referralscorequiz.com. It's 10 questions. It'll take you like 60, maybe 90 seconds if you think through it a little more deeply. But it's the 10 best practices when it comes to referrals. And there will be some blind spots for most people. If you do those 10 things regularly with excellence, you'll start getting more referrals immediately. And one of the biggest is asking for referrals. A lot of people don't feel comfortable and confident asking for referrals. So we teach the art of the ask. And there's 3 steps. Basically, step 1 is setting the stage. Step 2 is listening for the referral triggers. And then step 3 is to ASK to GET. So let me just take a couple minutes and let's unpack this. Step 1, setting the stage. When you first got a client that's agreed to hire you and to work with you, what you want to do is say, Lily, I'm so glad you've chosen to work with me. Before I let you go, I want to ask you a quick favor. Would it be okay, once I've proven myself to you and really delivered a 5-star experience, would it be okay if I ask you for referrals and maybe even a testimonial later on? What you're going to find, this is setting the stage. People are going to be 100% in agreement with that because you're not putting them on the spot now. You're not asking for anything now. You're saying, I'm going to wow you. And when I do, I'd like to earn the right to ask you for referrals. So that's setting the stage. You're going to get some referrals right on the spot because they're going to be like, well, Lily, now that you say that, I've got a brother, sister, aunt, cousin, coworker, client that could use you right now. And here you go. Please help them. But once you set the stage, now you're going to serve them, wow them, really impress them with going above and beyond. Now you're listening for the referral triggers. That's step 2. You got 2 ears, 1 mouth. So step 2 is listen with your 2 ears. And what you want to hear is, wow, Lily, this is amazing. Thank you so much. You've been so great. I've made so much money, saved so much time. I look good, feel great. Whatever your service delivers, you're listening for wow or thank you. And once you hear it, now it's time for step 3. You want to ASK to GET. And it goes like this. Oh, Lily, I'm so glad to hear you say that. Remember, we first started working together. I told you I was going to wow you and give you a 5-star experience. Well, now that you've experienced my solution, my service firsthand, I'd love to help you help some of the people that you care about. I'm looking to take on a couple other clients. Is there anyone you know who needs to, and then you fill in the blank of whatever service you're providing. So when you set the stage, you listen for the referral triggers, and then you ASK to GET, your clients will be thrilled and they'll give you more raving referrals.
Wow, that is a fascinating formula. So what else can entrepreneurs do in order to become a super attractor of raving referrals? Let's take in property investors, for example.
Yeah, so with real estate investors, people are always looking for more deals, right? The biggest challenge for real estate investor is finding a motivated seller. And so what you want to do is have people out there scouting for business. Well, who are the people that are talking to homeowners that could be home sellers? Well, realtors, number one, right? You want to enlist realtors as your scouts and let them know that you'll pay them a commission, even if the property never hits the market. There's so many different ways that you can do it as a real estate investor. You can talk to general contractors, people that are hired to make improvements to homes because somebody's going to put a home on the market. Another one is estate planning attorneys, divorce attorneys, real estate attorneys, and business attorneys. So 4 different categories of attorneys that all serve people that are homeowners that may be in the market to sell. Estate planning attorneys have somebody die, death in the family. Now somebody's inherited a property, and typically they want the cash more than the cash flow. So that can be an opportunity for a real estate investor. Divorce attorneys. Divorce is one of the biggest reasons that homes sell in America. So a divorce attorney can help someone, and what you want to position yourself as is the solution. Hey, if you've got a client that's facing these challenges, I can help. We can help. Maybe the property is in disrepair and it needs to be fixed before it can be flipped. And so that investor can come in and either buy the home outright or partner up with the inheritor of that property to invest in the fix so that they can flip it together.
Thank you. What are some great habits for entrepreneurs wanting raving referrals? Let's take property investors again as an example.
Yeah. Well, number one, ask. Number two, create a referral rewards program so that people know that they're going to be incentivized, just like we were talking about earlier. And then also for property investors, I would recommend that you talk to property managers. We were talking about property managers earlier. Who do they serve? They get hired by property investors. And so you can incentivize a property manager that maybe has a property that needs some work, or they've got a motivated seller, somebody that is facing a life event and maybe they're going through divorce and now they need to sell some of their assets and liquidate some of their assets. That can be a great source of business for you. So it's really about finding those people out there that are in the natural flow of serving the clients and customers that you're looking to attract, and then empower them. The other thing is make it easy for people to refer you. Okay. Whether that's a brochure, beyond a business card, right? Something where they can send it or give it to somebody that's thinking about hiring somebody like you. And when you make yourself easy to refer, then people can pass you on and give the gift of you quickly and easily.
Thank you. What are some good ways for property investors to maintain a growing network? Because let's say initially you have, 5,000 people in your network. And as you become really successful, you get 10,000, 100,000 and more. So how do you maintain this bigger network of motivated potential sellers or promoters for your business?
Well, the fortune is in the follow-up. And if you're not communicating with your community, then somebody else is going to, and they're going to win the business. So I always teach, you want your brand on their brain. You want them thinking about you so that, the reality is typically only 2 to 3% of people are in the market for your product or service right now. So the reason that we follow up, the reason you want to stay top of mind is so that in 6, 12, 24 months from now, when they actually need your service, or in between when somebody that they know, love, and want to help is faced with the issue that you solve, that your brand is on their brain. So how do you do that? You need to have a CRM. You need to be doing email, MS, text messaging is a good way to build up your community. Social media, of course. And it really depends on the type of business that you're in. So find the right communication channels that work for your clients in your community. I also recommend that you do client appreciation events at least once a year, if not once a quarter. Bring people together. Celebrate the people that are helping you build your business so that they feel acknowledged and recognized and celebrated, and show them a good time, whether it's renting out a a few bays of Topgolf, or bowling alleys, or just going to a concert, a sporting event, and just bringing your best referral partners to you. The more you invest in those people, the more that they're going to recommend and refer you.
Thank you. What's the best way for property investors to, let's say, as they have a growing network of, let's say, 100,000 people, how can they make people feel special? Because let's say you're getting an email, you're getting an SMS, you're getting something where you feel like you're just a needle in the haystack. How can property investors make their promoters feel ultra special and wow them so that they would continue to give them business over the long term?
Yeah, I think it all comes down to your individual business. Right now, we're talking about property investors. How do you do that? Well, you look at who are the biggest champions for your company. Who are the people that are referring you the most opportunities? And again, look at the lifetime value of a client. If somebody's referred you clients that equal $100,000 in profit for your company, how much do you want to reward them? Right? Maybe most people are spending like dollars, maybe $50 to reward somebody that's generated $100,000 for them. Send them a 3-day weekend getaway, right? Create the opportunity where you're really creating a special memory for them, a special experience. Tomorrow night, I'll be in Las Vegas, and I'm going to watch the Eagles concert at the Sphere. Now, this is one of our investors in HOA.com that's purchased the tickets and invited me out there. He's putting me up for 7 days in Las Vegas where I'm not paying a penny. He's just covering that. He's creating a wow experience for me. Now, what am I doing in return? Because he's being so generous and giving to me, I've got a film crew coming to video the whole thing, because he's doing it not just for me, he's doing it for his company. He has 100 offices throughout the Caribbean and Central America, and he has 1,000 agents that work for him in his Remax franchise. So he's giving to me, I'm hiring a film crew. We're going to go do a reality TV episode just about him. So that's an example of where he's giving a special experience to me, and I'm returning the favor. And both of us just offered it out of our generosity, but we're each creating an incredible experience because we view the other one as a champion for our business.
Thank you. What's the best way for entrepreneurs to feel, to kind of like, okay, let me re-ask this. What's the best way for you to become a super attractor of raving referrals? What I mean by that is in terms of like your behavior, your energy, your like your glow up, I don't know, the way you look, your characteristics. What kind of characteristics should an entrepreneur have that makes them a super attractor of raving referrals?
Lily, I love this question. You're the first one that's ever asked me that. So I really want to acknowledge you, because what you're talking about is your being. Not your doing, your being. Who are you being at your core? And people ask me every day, hey, how are you? And my answer is blessed beyond belief. Now, that's a mindset that I have, right? And that's how I care. And most people are like, oh, I've never heard that. I love that answer, right? It's an affirmation to myself and a declaration to others that I am blessed beyond belief, which is 100% true. But that started with a mindset. And so you've got to be outrageously optimistic and just believe that the universe is conspiring for your benefit. And when you hold that place and you start with that energy of impact, I'm going to create as much impact as possible and make a difference to as many people as possible. That's where things start to work out. And look for opportunities to give. I mean, right here, I'm at Grand Canyon University. I was just speaking to an entrepreneurship class teaching raving referrals. I'm not being paid to be here. I'm doing it because the entrepreneurship professor asked me to come out. I want to make a difference into the next generation. There's no benefit to me here directly, but guess what? Amazing things will come out of this opportunity. I don't know what, but when you just believe that God's working in your favor and he's directing your steps, then number one, you enjoy your days a whole lot more, but you do, your vibe attracts your tribe. So that higher vibrational being is what attracts people to you.
Thank you. How can you become a super attractor of raving referrals and maintain a superb relationship with business titans? And the reason I ask you is because when you're dealing with business titans all day long, there's so much at stake because they can open so many doors for you that you can't possibly imagine. And the same, you can do that for them too. But I think there's so much at stake where sometimes you can do something really small to upset them or to, a misunderstanding or, so many things that could possibly go wrong where you mess it up or there's a misunderstanding or something. So how do you make sure that you create like a good setup for your potential collaboration with other business titans that could become, like this massive flood of extra business for your business?
Well, it all comes down to being your word. We talked about integrity earlier on in our conversation, and integrity is the key. In order for people to refer you, they have to trust you. In order for them to trust you, they have to like you and know you. They don't have to like you, but it sure helps, right? I've referred people that I have a respect for, but not necessarily a love factor for, but I knew that they were the right person to get the job done, so I'll still refer them. But when you're talking about titans, when you're talking about building relationships with people that have the ability to create massive impact in your company, you want to go above and beyond to impress them and to make an impression upon them. And that starts with the integrity, doing what you say you're going to do. But first of all, look for the challenges that they face. What are they trying to solve? What's the mission that they're on? What's their purpose? What are they passionate about? And how can you help them get it? Back in 2004, I had the pleasure of meeting a man named Mark Victor Hansen, and he's the author of Chicken Soup for the Soul. He's actually the #1 best-selling author of all time. He sold over 600 million books. He and Jack Canfield, Dr. Jack Canfield. And he was just recording in studio with me for video on Monday. I talked to him for 45 minutes on Tuesday. So we've built a 21-year friendship. But that started back on May 18th, 2004, when I met him. I hired him to come speak at a charity fundraising event that we were doing, and he challenged me to write 101 goals. Well, the next week I went to Hawaii. I wrote 338 goals, and one of them was I wanted him to be my mentor. So when I came back from Hawaii, I reached out to him, and I researched him. I said, okay, what is this man looking to achieve? What's the mission he's on? And how can I help him achieve it? And so I looked for ways to give first, and that generosity made an impression that led to a friendship. And here we are almost 21 years later. He's now on our advisory board, and he's an amazing friend. So that all started from generosity and looking to solve their challenges and help them on their mission. If you seek first to help them achieve and inspire what they're looking to do, then you'll impress upon them and they'll take you under their wing.
Thank you. What's a good way to ask someone what they need support with? Because I found that a lot of times when I ask, especially people that are quite accomplished, what do you need help with? They will typically say, I don't need anything. And I know that's complete bullshit because everyone needs something. Like even if it's like your daughter to get into college or, and you can think that you have it all figured out, but I know I can help everybody with something. So I wonder what's a better way to ask this question in a way that they are willing to open up to what they actually need support with.
I think you could say something like, what's the biggest challenge that you're working on right now, right? Are there any issues in your business that you're facing that you might need some outside resources? I'm connected to some incredible people, and if there's anything I can do to support your success, I'd love to. So, is there anything keeping you up at night? Right? Or what's the biggest challenge that you're facing right now? I think then you're coming from a different perspective. If we ask them what their challenge is without offering to fix it on the front end, it comes from a different perspective, right? Because the human brain, when you ask a question, the human brain of the other person has to answer that question. We can't just skip over it. Our brain forces us to answer it. So if you say, what's the biggest challenge that you're facing in your business right now? I guarantee you, if they're an entrepreneur, there's something going on. But if you say, what can I do to support you? Then they're thinking about you instead of thinking about them. So ask about the challenges that they face and then look for the solutions that they need.
Thank you. Tell us about where entrepreneurs can find more resources and information about you.
Yeah, you bet. So BrandonBarnum.com is probably the place to start. You'll learn about me and see what I'm up to. You can learn more about the Raving Referrals book and system at RavingReferrals.com. You can find it on Amazon. And then my tech company is called HOA.com. I'd go to HOA.com/blueprint and download that free referral partner blueprint. It's about 16-page PDF, but it will literally help you identify who you should partner with, what to say to them, and then what to do after they say yes, so that you create a powerful, profitable partnership.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential business titans, providing you with the insights to awaken to your full potential, so you can get paid to be yourself, find true happiness, and manifest anything you desire.